'Tis the season of thanks. We're thankful for touchdown celebrations, goal line stands, the spread option offense, and Torrance's last standing playoff unit on the gridiron. But which one will it be? Meanwhile, on the volleyball court, the South Spartans take on their unique playoff hex head first. Could this be the year they finally reverse the curse and get through the CIF semifinals? Plus, playoff time in one sport just means preview time for another. The first of our local basketball squads previewed this week with the El Camino Warriors setting out for the 2013-2014 season. You're going to see it all here, so get ready. The Sports Desk starts right now. Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Desk during Thanksgiving week. There's not much else that says Thanksgiving more than football, especially for the boys of West High who had a simple goal heading into their second round playoff match against Palmdale. They wanted to practice on Thanksgiving Day. No joke. We heard it plenty. Punched their second straight ticket to the CIF semifinals, and the Warriors would be in pads on Turkey Day.
It's such an overstated saying in sports, we just pass it off as a cliche. Defense wins championships. The counter to that is always, well, yeah, but offense sells tickets. And since West High football isn't exactly in the business of selling tickets, they've enjoyed the best of both worlds in 2013. Balance. Only their defense getting marginal praise in that equation. But can you blame us? In their 9 wins marching into the second round of the playoffs, the Warriors had scored an average of 41 points a game. Running the ball, throwing the ball, one of the most balanced offenses in the South Bay left little room to acknowledge what was quietly one of the most stout defenses around.
It's a team game, and that's what we talked about the last couple of weeks. It's all about team. If we win, it's a team. If we lose, it's a team. And it doesn't matter really what the scoreboard says. At the end, I want to know that we played as a football team.
And it was in the second round of the playoffs when the Warrior defense was finally called upon to carry the bulk of the load. Halfway through the third quarter, you'd hardly notice after 3 first-half Warrior turnovers, including a West fumble at Palmdale's goal line, and the Warrior offense's lack of rhythm, Greg Holt's team only trailed 14-10. True to form, the Warrior defense was quietly dominating.
We knew that we couldn't come out and just put our helmets down. We have like 28 seniors, you know what I mean? And I love all of them to death. And none of us wanted to turn our things in on Monday. So we just want to play football. We just want to come out here. We want to come next week, and we want to practice on Thanksgiving.
Led by Ray Lima's 3 sacks and constant pressure from a hobbled senior defensive lineman J.J. Allen, crucial stop after crucial stop kept them in the game. The defense may not always be the ones putting points on the scoreboard, but deep in the playoffs, with the season on the line, they were proving they'd be the difference. Finally, batting down a 4th and 15 heart stopper near the goal line to seal their ticket to the CIF semifinals. One of those passes that just doesn't seem to want to touch the ground, but it did.
Something happened along the way, and I got to be honest with you, I lost out where it happened, but we got a little spark there. And it was right before the end of the third quarter. The kids got emotional, in between the third and fourth quarter. We got a little hoopla going, and we kind of fed off of that.
West had only failed to score more than 35 points twice all season. Their only 2 losses of the year. Tonight, they'd offered just 17. The defense only gave up 14. Just 1 point higher than their entire season average that included 2 shutouts. We already knew the Warriors could win the barn burner shootout. But then again, they do say defense wins championships for a reason.
So there it is, Ray Lima and company en route to their second straight CIF semifinal. A win locks up their second straight CIF championship game appearance. Of course, last year that championship game matchup came against Bay League rivals Palos Verdes. Flip back a couple shows and you'll see I did my homework at the beginning of the playoffs. The Warriors and the Sea Kings placed in the same bracket where they were slated to host PV in the semifinal should both teams win their quarterfinal game. No dice. As much as I'm sure the Warriors would love to take on their biggest rival in the playoffs and get some payback, judging by the cheers when it was announced PV got smoked by Hart 33-12, don't think the West Warrior faithful are going to lose any sleep over it. They'll now travel to take on the Foothill League squad. Hart suffered 2 losses on the entire season, their last coming against West's first round playoff opponent, Canyon. And talked about West's solid defense all season here. They've got a major assignment in front of them now. Hart hung over 50 in 5 of their 10 regular season games. And speaking of the CIF semifinals, that's the exact spot that's hung up the South Spartans volleyball squad now twice in a row. From the outside looking in, never a bad thing to have a squad taking consistent deep runs into the playoffs, but nobody's surprised to know the Lady Spartans are eager to get over that hurdle, so our Haley Outen digs in to see if the third time's a charm.
The CIF playoffs are the goal of each and every team throughout Southern California, but with playoffs there comes the pressure of winning and a do-or-die mentality. At least for these Spartans, after suffering season-ending losses 2 years in a row. Oddly enough, on Tuesdays, where most students would be excited to sleep in on a designated late start day. However, with that in the back of this team's mind, it is doubtful there was too much sleeping in this time around.
As soon as we walked in, starting the game, my stomach started like butterflies galore. But, getting on the court, we settled down, which was nice, and we started playing our game.
During the first set, I think we were feeling good, like being off the energy of the crowd. But then second game, I think we were just going to let, Oaks Christian was going to roll over and, give it to us. But we worked hard the whole time. It's hard to be upset about how we played.
We worked hard, play after play, we pushed hard and never really gave up. So that was really good for us. And then they came back and started playing, which we expected them to do that.
Just going back to the basics, and that's how we came back so many times, just focusing on the fundamentals and focusing on that.
It was focusing on the fundamentals that surprised many of the girls on this squad, granting them a much better season than they had originally expected.
Oh gosh, I don't think anyone was expecting us to go this far. Even ourselves, we had no idea. Like you said, we didn't have that one key hitter that would put balls away for us, so it helped us push each other in practice because we knew that somebody else had to get a kill. It couldn't be one person, it has to come from everyone. So that's how we kind of played our strengths and weaknesses, and knowing that other teams couldn't stop us was really fun with the offense that we ran.
I don't think we expected to make it this far, and to work hard and to grow as a team. I think I'm going to take that with me.
A group of girls that started the season off not knowing exactly how far they would go ended up in the CIF semis and almost played well enough to land themselves a spot in that CIF championship game. But in sports, it doesn't always go like we would hope. And especially in high school sports, there is always a group of girls that won't have the chance to go after that CIF championship dream.
Just to put it all out there, just to go home knowing that I put myself on the court and left a piece of me on the court.
Definitely the friendships. We've never been this close before as a team. I'm friends with all these girls, literally every single, how many do we have, 16 of us? All of them I consider my best friends. We've never been so close, and those are the relationships that I'm going to miss in high school and from this team.
It's going to be a big, area missing for us, and I think that they played a huge role in how good we were this season. They always kept us together, they had that leadership on the court and off the court that made us really, together as a team.
And Micah was able to not only look up to the seniors this year, but also take away important lessons that she will carry into her last year on the court at South.
I think just to play hard at all times, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you are, just to always play hard, always have fun on the court.
After 2 years of frustrating CIF semifinal appearances, these girls showed up on Late Start Tuesday excited and ready to play.
Coming into this, we knew we wanted to win this game. In 3 years, we wanted to push really hard, and even coming into before the game, everybody was here early, everybody was ready to play. And then it just happened, and it went really fast.
Honestly, we didn't even care. We were taking it as a coincidence. We basically, all we wanted to do was play. We were going through school, going through our classes, just I want to go play, let's get on the court. We were here so early before the game even started. We were just pumped to play, and we came out strong in the beginning.
We did call it a coincidence. It's not really we called it a curse at first, but we talked about it. It's just a coincidence that everything fell on the same day. Is Late Start Tuesday a coincidence or a curse? That is something that we may have the opportunity to explore further, as the South girls soccer team has also been faced with this ironic situation the past 2 years in the semis. From South High School, I'm Haley Outen for the Sports Desk.
Thanks for that, Haley. You guys heard it right there. South's volleyball season may be in the books, but that won't close the books on the curse of the Late Start Tuesdays, with soccer season right in front of us now. And if you think we're just making this up, by the way, consider this. Coach Robert Kusch was so spooked by late starts, he lobbied to have the start time changed for the Spartans opening round of the playoffs this year. I think we're onto something here. All right, everybody, that will be another story for another time, because now we've got some business to settle back on the football field. The Torrance Tartars turned some heads with a first-round playoff win. They get a shot at last year's CIF champs. Plus, we get to meet the running back that laid it all out on the line to give his team some postseason life.
All the preparation, the training, it all comes down to this.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
We have a job to do out here today.
Some people think it's about muscle, but it's really about heart. A lot of heart.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
Is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The action team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
In America, up to 1.6 million youth are homeless each year. Up to 40% of them identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender.
Most of them have been thrown out of their homes or run away out of fear and rejection.
It's time for things to change.
America's next generation needs us to stand with them so they can stand on their own.
Get informed, get involved. Visit 40tonone.org.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports Desk. Jumping back on the playoff grind here, but not so much to check up on scores and results. We're taking a moment to look at some key factors that propelled one team into playoff contenders. I'm talking, of course, about the Torrance Tartars. Just looking at their regular season record and box scores on paper, you might not have picked them to advance past the first round of the playoffs. They finished the regular season with a losing record, no landmark victories that jump out at you. They started 1-4 on the year, but when you dig around and learn a little about their rough start and one key piece to their offense and their mojo that was missing for the first month of the season, it all makes sense. The Sports Desk newest reporter, Valerie Ortega, explains.
Torrance football standout senior Bobby Wilson has made an offensive impact in his 4 years as a Tartar, but it hasn't been an easy journey.
For the first 2 years, I had no injuries. I was pretty durable, and then I got my first injury ever, and I was just to my knee, and it took me out for 3 games. I was devastated. I wasn't supposed to play the rest of that year, but I made an early recovery and came back stronger.
In his senior year, number 14 was once again hurt and forced to miss games.
It affected me a lot this year because it took me out of crucial games that we could have won, and I felt like I let my team down. And when I came back, I was just really hungry, and I think that affected my play a lot.
Fighting through injuries, he remained motivated by the teammates around him.
These are my brothers. I know some of them aren't going to be fortunate enough to play football ever again, and I don't want their season to end any earlier than it should be.
Coach Hollis thinks the world of his running back's character on and off the field.
He's a very exciting, a very electrifying football player. He's not only is he a great athlete who has tremendous speed, but he works very hard and he's a nice guy.
In 2013, Bobby didn't even play a full game until a month into the season, and still managed to lead the run-focused Tartar offense, which is under 1,000 yards on the ground.
He makes our offense work. Because we run that crazy shotgun double wing, and it's one of those that you have to have a very good running back, and he is a very good running back. So without him, we would probably not be in the playoffs.
He continued to be an important asset to the Torrance Tartars and has worked to stay healthy.
I rehabbed it up those weeks I was out, and I feel better. I'm happy. I'm good with my body right now.
Bobby says he's healthy and feeling great. He continues to work hard to get stronger and better in hopes of playing at the next level. From Torrance, this is Valerie Ortega reporting for the Sports Desk.
Thanks for that, Valerie. Now, you heard Coach Hollis refer to his offense there, and there's no doubting the double wing T has been a major factor in getting the Tartars into the second round of the playoffs this year. They ran the ball down the throats of their first-round opponent, Azusa, with Bobby Wilson racking up almost 300 yards himself. But for all that we dropped the name of that offensive scheme around town, Maybe you know what it means, maybe you don't have a clue. Ask around the Tartar locker room, and rather than try to map out X's and O's for you, most Tartars are likely to spend more time talking about their identity as a team because of that run-first offense.
2 years ago, Torrance sent shockwaves through the high school football world, beating Nordhoff on a last-minute play in the playoffs. The two teams faced off at Zamperini Stadium for a rematch Friday night.
It was going to happen twice. I knew we were going to have to either just clutch up really well this game, or they were going to take it.
Well, gosh darn, we're a little bit disappointed, disappointed in the final score, but we're excited. We're excited in the fact that, the guys did everything they could to try to win this thing.
The Tri-Valley defending champs took advantage of the Tartars' depleted double-wing T offense. An offensive system designed to rush for 400 yards in one game was held to 177 rushing yards.
One of our key injuries, we had a key injury. We had one of our guard break his collarbone last week in our playoff game. It was the worst break of a collarbone the doctor's ever seen. That changes the dynamics of our front line. So we actually went in with two different guys on our front line, and that's not an excuse. It's just that that when any offense, whether it be double wing or wing T or any spread, you lose two key guys, you're in trouble.
Despite the loss, Coach Hollis remains adamant about using the same game plan in the years to come. He told me it puts you in games that you're not supposed to be in. In fact, they defeated Azusa last week and racked up over 300 yards on the ground.
Even that was an 8-2 team. We're not a bad football team. We just kept getting better, and that's the whole thing. Is we just kept improving and improving and improving. And it's tough to stop that double wing T if you never see it. And I'm not sure if they'd seen it all year long. And so, we weren't surprised at all. We knew what we were going to do. I love the double wing T. I'm going to keep running it until the cows come home.
Double wing T is beautiful when it works. If everybody clicks, if everybody gives it everything they have, the double wing is amazing.
Although the season has come to an end, the players will start preparing early for Smash Mouth football.
It's made not for the weak of heart. You have to be very durable, very tough to run this offense. And during summer, that's exactly what they breed us for. They're training us to be able to withstand this constant running, constant getting hit. That's what double wing is, just hard-nosed football.
We're going to go back and celebrate. A great season. Then we'll get cracking on what we're going to do for next year. We're going to start lifting in January, and the cycle never ends.
So there it is. With the Tartars out of the playoffs, that leaves us just the one Torrance school left up in the northern bracket. The Tartars finished their season with a 5-7 record overall. El Segundo, the sole Pioneer League squad left. Things get a little stiff as far as competition goes next season, though. West High joins them in the Pioneer League fall of 2014. Okay, time for break number 2. When we get back, we'll move away from the playoff grind and prep sports so we can focus on what's ahead, mostly. The El Camino Warriors hitting the hardwood for winter, men's and women's basketball, the only thing going on at Elko in the winter, so all eyes will be on the team you're about to meet next.
Here we are, 2013. We all depend on technology to communicate, to bank, and none of us know how to read and write code.
The first program I wrote asked things like, what's your favorite color? Or how old are you?
I wrote a program to play tic-tac-toe.
I first learned how to make a green circle and a red square appear on the screen.
You're just trying to make something, trying to transfer something from your mind to the computer or to a tablet. It's an experience.
The whole limit in the system is just that there just aren't enough people who are trained and have these skills today.
The programmers of tomorrow are the wizards of the future. You're going to look like you have magic powers compared to everybody else.
Great coders are today's rock stars. That's it.
Lee Major, did you get your flu vaccine yet?
With the flu season coming up, we all have to help protect ourselves by getting the flu vaccine. If you're over 65 like me, you gotta even be more careful.
Our immune system may not be as strong as it used to be, so we have to do everything we can to keep the flu from catching up with us.
So ask about your vaccine options, because if you're a tough guy like me, you may need a tough vaccine.
Visit the National Council on Aging at ncoa.org/flu to learn more about vaccine options for people 65 and older.
Hi, and welcome back to the Sports Desk. You got all the CIF updates right here in Torrance, but that's not the only playoff action in town right now. El Camino's men's cross-country team turned in a 7th place finish in the California Community College State Championships in Fresno. Rio Miranda led the Warrior pack with the 13th overall finish, 20 minutes and 42 seconds on the 4-mile course, while freshman Haley Heineman finished 39th overall to pace the Elko women to a 20th place finish. On the pitch, the men's soccer team suffered early postseason elimination. They took the 13th seed in CCCAA SoCal Regional Playoffs and endured a 2-0 loss to Santiago Canyon College, the 5th seeded team in the tourney. And we've been following Elko's women's volleyball squad closely for a while now. You talk about dominant programs in Torrance, and this is one we could argue as the top dog. Their 4th consecutive SCC title and 25th in the school's history, the Lady Warriors are moving into Yankee territory with championships now. The title earns them a number 6 seed in SoCal with an overall record of 20-4 and a near-perfect conference season with just 1 loss and 14 matches. Their postseason is underway early this week, and we'll have more on that when you watch us again next week. Okay, now enough postseason talk, at least for now, but we're going to keep things on the El Camino College campus. Things really start to slow down in the world of Warrior sports come winter because, well, men's and women's basketball is the only thing going on. That means all eyes are focused on the court for Warrior fans, so Jenny Phillips previews the men's squad as they get ready for a new year with a mostly new roster under Coach Uphoff.
It's no secret that junior colleges experience the highest turnover rates with their players. After a tough first season at El Camino College, Coach Uphoff finds himself with a squad full of young, promising players who are buying in, as well as a couple of key returners to lead the team.
I think first and foremost, the change from last year, we have a really unselfish group. And so we have a group of individuals who are really willing to work hard, to come together, cheer each other on.
Well, it starts in the off season. You know, we got basically a whole new team. Had to come together, you know, just depend on each other.
I just took what I learned from last year and just trying to put it into this year. And hopefully my team has followed me, you know, and hopefully they continue to and we get better as the season progresses.
Returning key players from last year has made all the difference for this Warriors team, especially as they step up and fulfill leadership roles.
It's more leadership by action. The one thing I think that our sophomores have done a pretty good job of instilling a toughness and a competitiveness.
Well, Coach, he depended on me a lot in the offseason. He told me I had to step up and be a leader. It's my last year, so I had to do what I had to do.
If I see somebody down or something, I just go talk to them, see what's wrong with them, and basically just try to keep their spirits up because we need everybody if we're going to be successful this season.
In practice, I ask them what I can, you know, what I need to work on, and they're a really great help in terms of defense, offense.
Hopefully they can continue that mode, and I think that the sophomores have demonstrated what we need to do to continue to do that. And so I think our freshmen are buying in, and they have great attitudes, and they're great teammates as well.
With such a promising team coming together so well, the Warriors only have one common goal in mind.
To make playoffs. Of course, we want to win a championship, everything, but first we got to get the playoffs. We got to get a good record, win conference, you know. We got big, high hopes.
We got to get wins, so we got to make it to the playoffs. So got to get everybody's eyes open.
So the El Camino Warriors off and running, and that just means we'll be featuring some other winter sports from around town in the coming weeks. In the meantime, here's how and where you can reach out to us here on the Sports Desk. We want to see you guys on Facebook, so check out our page. Send us some photos from your practices, fans on the sidelines, the whole drill. All right, everybody, that wraps up another week on the Sports Desk. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We will see you next time.